So next we're going to be looking at our collective skin model. Just keep in mind that this is not representing any particular type of skin, but all things that may be in skin at the same time. Right? And the reason we know that is because when we have stratum lucidum, we also have hair growing in there, which should not be coinciding. Right? When there's thick skin, we have stratum lucidum, but no hair. Anywhere there's hair should be thin skin. So we'll start with some basic layering. Over here is the papillary layer of the dermis, and you can see kind of that cone shape to each of the dermal papillae, followed by a nice single cell layer of stratum basale or stratum germinativum, then the thicker stratum spinosum in this medium blue color, and then light blue stratum granulosum. Following that, we're going to have stratum lucidum, and then 3 layers of stratum corneum, representing the maybe thick skin. For all 3 of these layers are stratum corneum. So from stratum germinativum all the way to stratum corneum is epidermis. Below that is the dermis. So the top 20% or so is the papillary layer of the dermis, and the lower 80% the reticular layer of the dermis. Deep to the dermis is adipose tissue, which are these big yellow globules. And adipose could, in this position, be referred to as the hypodermis or as subcutaneous fat. Even below the hypodermis, we get a little bit more connective tissue, and then this pink layer here is skeletal muscle. So going back to look at some of the glands, these small white glands and this big green gland are both sudoriferous glands, which are sweat glands. The white are eccrine sweat glands, just regular sodium chloride and potassium, whereas the green gland is an apocrine sweat gland, which is the one that develops, matures at puberty to make the smelly pheromone sweat in the axillary and genital regions. Also for glands around hair follicles, we see these purple sebaceous glands, which are going to make and secrete oil onto the hair root and bring that oil up onto the surface of the skin. As far as sensory structures we can see, up in the dermal papillae, there are Meissner's corpuscles, and those are for light touch and texture. There's also free nerve endings, which you can see these little yellow structures, which are in the dermis or even up into the epidermis. And the free nerve endings could be thermoreceptors for temperature, they could be mechanical stimulus sensors, or they could even be pain receptors, nociceptors. Further down in the dermis, we get Ruffini corpuscles or bulbous corpuscles. These are stretch receptors. And even deeper to that, in the bottom of the reticular layer of the dermis, or even down into the hypodermis, are these things that look like cocktail olives. Those are Pacinian corpuscles, also called lamellar corpuscles, which are for deep pressure and vibration sensation. The last piece of a nervous system that we should talk about is the root hair plexus, which comes from, which starts on the hair root and bulb, and then transmits afferent information to the nervous system about the changes in bending of hair shaft, which is the part that's above the skin. Some other hair features, whatever is above the epidermis we'll call the shaft. Below the epidermis, but before this wide base part, is the root, and then that widened or kind of circular shaped base is the bulb of the hair. Also, we've got erector pili muscle, which goes from the dermis down to the bulb of the hair. It has 2 functions when it contracts. It both erects the hair so that it stands up straight. It also pulls down on the dermis and epidermis, which causes goosebumps.